Welcome to Backpage Blues Part 2. I'm still joined by Charlie, the Hurricane Skiller from the Mail Online, and it's time for my favourite part of the week. It's where we answer your questions. Thank you so much for getting them into us, and if you want your question answered next week, comment below. I'll make a start if that's okay, Charlie.
Go for it.
First question is from Joe Carino. He says, would you take Drogba or Lampard back at Chelsea on loan because the MLS season has finished?
100%. I absolutely would. I'll tell you why. Not so much for what they could do on the pitch, although I still think Lampard would be an asset in terms of, you know, getting in the box and scoring goals, which is something we've been really lacking, you know, that kind of clinical edge.
Completely agree.
One thing we've absolutely really missed, and we've actually talked about this on the site recently, is Drogba's off-the-pitch influence. You know,
Drogba, just his leadership from the dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, Drogba on the pitch last season, I think he did okay. He scored 7 goals, a couple of crucial ones.
Big goal at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's right. But I think you saw when Chelsea were just getting over the line at the end of the season, I think you saw how crucial he was. All the players were around him, all the players were celebrating with him. He was right at the front. He was front and centre when Chelsea got over the line. Now, everything we're hearing at the Mail out of the club is that since he's gone, the dressing room has just completely fallen apart. He was the glue that kind of held it all together. He took team talks, his experience and...
Yeah, we really miss that at the moment, don't we?
I would definitely take either of them on loan, both. I don't think it's going to happen. I think these MLS clubs are getting a lot stricter on their players coming back and playing in pre-season. So I'm not sure it's...
Shame, but very good question. Really interesting stuff.
I'll ask the next one. Jude, on Twitter, he wants to know what's the best individual performance you've ever seen live?
It's a great question, Jude. I can think of a few. I think some... players who have just performed out their skin in certain games. I think Michael Essien had a few. Yeah, I think Essien particularly at Anfield when we beat Liverpool 3-1, Ivanovic's goals. I think he man-marked Steven Gerrard. Gerrard didn't touch the ball. No, that's right. That definitely deserves a mention. Frank Lampard, when we won the league at Bolton, scoring those 2 goals. That is an example of a hero taking the game by the scruff of the neck and winning you the league. I think that one is definitely up there. But yeah, there's a few. What about you?
I'm going to be a little bit controversial, I'm afraid. I'm going to go with a Chelsea game and not a Chelsea player. The best player I've ever seen live is Ronaldinho. And the game at Stamford Bridge where thankfully Chelsea won 4-2. Yeah. I think that was the best individual performance I've ever seen from a player. Yeah. I thought it's one of the only times that I've kind of come away from a Chelsea game thinking, wow, you know, that opposition player was an absolute privilege to watch. Yeah. And it really was. And
nobody knew what had happened. I was at that game. When that goal went
ridiculous.
In, nobody knew what had happened. He was marked, he was, what? He was suddenly scored.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Can I also make an honourable mention to Johnny Spencer? Chelsea drew 2-2 with Liverpool a long time ago. Look up John Spencer's goals in that game. I think Matt Manaman scored 2 for Liverpool and John Spencer scored 2 for Chelsea. Look them up. They are fantastic. He's a true hero of mine.
One day we're going to do a video and you're not going to mention John Spencer.
Never. I'll mention Dan Petrescu then. Don't mention Spencer.
I hope that day never comes.
Right, Alex Hawks. Cheers for your question, Alex. The best away day you've ever been on?
I mean, there's been a lot. I think especially, you know, it's true of home games as well, but especially when you're travelling for ages, you really sort of get the point of football's not just about the game, it's about the whole day, it's about the people you go with. I mean, we had a really good time going to the Stoke game last weekend. Does Munich count?
You can have Munich. There's no rules on the Chelsea Fans Channel. You do what you like, Charlie.
Yeah, I will do it one. I'll have Munich because I was with my family and friends all weekend, and obviously Chelsea won the Champions League.
Do you know it's so difficult to pinpoint? Like I've had some wonderful days following Chelsea. Like I remember I had a really good time in Bordeaux a few years ago. I think we drew 1-1 and Elka scored. But do you know one that sort of stays with me for different reasons? We played Southampton away in the Cup. Demba Ba's debut, maybe. I think Demba Ba scored a couple of goals.
In January, we won 4-1.
And we took loads of fans down there. It was a really good day. We had loads of smoke bombs. There was a smoke bomb on the pitch, and it was just like a really chaotic, exciting day. That one was I had a very good day there.
Leeds away was good for that as well.
Leeds away was very good. Japan, I had a very good time in Japan following Chelsea. That was, aside from losing to Corinthians, it was a brilliant trip. But yeah, there's been some really exciting ones. Actually, what's your favourite away day? Comment below, let us know, because it's lovely to take this trip down memory lane.
Next question, another trip down memory lane. Callum Reedy comments a lot, and he's a big fan of the show. Zola versus Stuttgart or Poyet versus Real Madrid?
Poyet, absolutely not. Not on this show. Zola versus Stuttgart all day long. I will not.
Definitely, much more important competition.
Much better goal and a much more wonderful man, and not a Judas.
Yep. just on that note, on Zola, I was quite sad in the week. You know, I was very happy you met Gianfranco Zola.
I was.
I was very sad you had to meet him with that thing on your face.
I know. That's how I felt. I lived my dream. I lived my boyhood dream earlier this week. I met Gianfranco Zola. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. It was truly an honour. I had a photograph with the great man, and I've got this tash. That's gonna live with me forever. It's really awful. We're obviously doing Movember. I'm sure you're aware of it. There's a few other guys doing it. Make sure that you check out our MoSpace page if you wish to contribute to this monstrosity. It's all for a very good cause. So yeah, have a look.
And it is only the second week in November, so this has got a while to go yet.
I know. I'm so upset by it. A question here from Super CFC Sam. If we had to replace Costa, then which striker would you like to replace him with? Falcao.
I don't think so. Now look, it's not an absolute given that Costa will be at Chelsea next season. I don't think, we talked about that before. At the minute, I think they're looking at players that can come in January. Someone maybe like Gonzalo Higuain, but
would you like to see him?
I would, for the minute, just because I think Chelsea desperately needs something different. I think the absolute dream would be someone like Robert Lewandowski, but that would be the ultimate. I think someone like, if Benzema's not going to be in the Real Madrid team, I would love to see him at Chelsea, even though he's maybe possibly a little bit older than the players we usually buy. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but I do think the whole attack needs an injection of quality. Yeah. What about you?
If we live in the dream, Sam, I'm going to go Robert Lewandowski. Too good. Yeah. Too good, unplayable at the moment. This from Dong is a very good question, Charlie. Top 4 or FA Cup?
Ooh, interesting.
Really good question.
This is interesting. I mean,
there's no debate here for me.
I know what you're going to go with, and I'm going to go with the same thing. I'm going to say the FA Cup because it's. I mean, I can list off so many Chelsea memories, particularly in my early days following Chelsea in the mid to late 90s, of FA Cup success.
Football is about winning trophies, not finishing fourth.
Exactly.
Fourth in the league, fifth in the league. What's the difference?
Exactly.
Somewhere below Manchester United and somewhere above Tottenham. What's the point?
Yeah.
Win a cup.
Exactly.
That's what the game is all about. Glory.
Exactly. Although I will say, it's been very easy for us to say that over the past few years because we've always been in the top 4. Not being in the Champions League is not going to be very good for the future. Although I fully back Chelsea.
Oh no, I want to be in the Champions League.
I fully
but
back,
a trophy's better.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully back Chelsea to get back in the top 4 at some stage. Probably not this season, but winning the FA Cup all day long for me.
Completely agree. Guys, thank you so much for your questions. Comment below, let us know your answers. I always love having a flick through the comments to see what you guys have to say. Top 4 FA Cup, let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, why not click the subscribe button? Go on you Blues. Charlie, cheer me up. Are Chelsea going to sign Cristiano Ronaldo?
This was on the front of a Madrid paper called AS on Thursday morning.